test, microphone test. Listen, this is your host with the most. It's the one, the apostle, the prophet, the cosmic commander. That's right. It's Wind Down Wednesday, therapy with a sip, grown folk conversation, right here live on the People's Podcast. Yes, indeed. So, listen, you guys get ready to come on in. We're going to have an amazing time tonight, as always. Topic tonight is: do Black people suffer from identity crisis? I think that's an amazing topic for the time frame that we're in now, right? So let me see what's going on here. See what we're doing, what we got going on. See if we are live yet here. Yes, indeed. Turn the sound down on this right here. Well, my day today, as always, my Wednesdays are off the chain. I spent it meditating. I was sounding my shofar today. Let me see if my sound is coming through. Can you all hear me? Okay. Sound down. Okay, just trying to make sure that our sound is coming through. Greetings, fam. Greetings. Coming in. We're going to have an amazing time tonight, as always, with your host with the most. ATL is in the house already. Queen Octavia is in the house. Greetings, Queen. All right. How was your day today? Um, the weather, whoo, this weather that we have been experiencing, listen, has been off the chain. Yes, the Prince of Peace is in the house. This weather has been off the chain. Of course, you all know that I do a raised bed garden. I have a green thumb. And I call myself, listen, covering up my tomatoes, my tomato plants. Boy, listen, that wind was tumultuous. It was tumultuous and it was tempestuous. Man, it was so chilled out there. It blew through the coverings that I had on my tomatoes and just kind of destroyed them. But that's okay because that season was kind of over with anyway. But I did have an opportunity to move in my peppers. I have some Sorrento peppers and some bell peppers. And so my brassicas, they were fine. My collards, my kale, my cabbage, all of that, that was good. They wait on the time season like this, so they can get it on real strong. Yes, yes. Greetings, greetings, priestess. ATL in the house. Please, when you all come in, let us know where you guys are hailing from. Okay, Queen Octavia, you're on. Okay, you're on. Okay, YouTube. Okay, YouTube. Okay, so you guys, let me know if you guys can see each other. I'm getting ready to switch this around and see if you guys can see each other. Let me know if you all can see that. Okay. All right. Tonight's topic, for those of you that don't know already, do Black people suffer from identity crisis? I think we're going to have a great time with this because there's some things that's going on and we really need to have some conversations about it, right? Grown folk conversation with respect to each other. Okay. All right. Tonight's broadcast is going to be sponsored by none other than the Prince of Peace, Queen Octavia, the master teacher, the quantum shifter, the shape shifter, the code breaker, baby. Also, Dorothy Wilson, Springfield, Illinois, Queen Kizzy, and also Tracy and Anthony Love. Those are those that are supporting, giving, donating, sponsoring the People's Podcast. Wind Down Wednesday, baby. Therapy with a sip. Grown folk conversation. I am your host with the most, the one, the apostle, the prophet, the cosmic commander at your helm. All right. So, what do you guys think about the topic? What do y'all think about it? Yes, indeed. Yeah, I think it's going to be amazing. So please, if you're in the room, let us know that you're in the room. Please hit that timeline so we can shout you out. And if you want to remain anonymous, that's okay too. Um, but yeah, today is a great day to be alive, right? Because life just keep on life, right? Whether we agree with it or not. So this is why it's very important for us to have these very powerful grown folk conversations. Okay. Yeah, I see you. Only way. Only way. That's Little Rock in the house, fam. Only way. Little Rock. All right, fam. Listen, again, tonight's topic, and we're going to get into it because I think it's going to be very powerful. And those that choose to come in later, they can catch up with us and get in on the conversation. But I really want to put something out here and get you guys to kind of take a look at it, and we'll talk about it. Again, do Black people suffer from identity crisis? And we're going to talk about this. But I'm going to introduce you all to this wine, and we can go ahead and get this wine poured up, and then, of course, we can get into our conversation. Wine Down Wednesday, therapy with a sip, grown folk conversation. You on the People's Podcast, baby. So let me introduce you guys to this wine. San Antonio. It's an imperial or great red wine. Yeah, see that? It's semi-sweet. We're getting ready to bust it down. Let me know what y'all sipping on out there. If you're sipping on anything, water, tea, wine, sip, whatever you may be sipping on, let me know what you're sipping on. All right, all right, okay. Queen Octavia says, I think so, partly due to the fact we have been in survival mode. Okay, I got a pretty fancy glass for you guys tonight. Let me pour this bell up. Y'all can't tell if I went over a bell, y'all. Mm-mm. It's gonna be on tonight. I done went over a bell. He's going over a bell. Isn't that something? Sipping on some orange soda, huh? Okay. That's what's up there. Okay. All right. I'm gonna put something up here in a minute, you all, after we take this toast. Y'all ready to do this? Okay. I'll give my famous toast today. How about that? Y'all know what my favorite famous toast is. What Queen Octavia said, moonshine. Wait a minute. Dag nabbit. That's gonna be on like a telephone. Okay. All right. Toast for the night. May you live forever, and shall I never die. Salute, salute, salute. Mm, that is really tasty, you all. That would go really well with some lamb chops, some garlic mashed potatoes, and some asparagus. Whew, my goodness. Okay, so let me put this out here. I want you guys to take a look at this, and y'all tell me what you think about it. And we're gonna move into this conversation. All right, fam. Okay. All right. Can you all see that? Let me blow that back up. Mhm. Put that up there so you guys can see it. Can you all read that? If you can read that, put a one on the timeline so that we're on the same page, please. If you can read that. That term is called Weusi anxiety. Okay. Weusi anxiety. And bear in mind that our topic tonight, we're dealing with what? Do Black people suffer from identity crises? So, and I think you all gonna hopefully um you all will join into the conversation. And also please bear in mind that you can also come on live with me. Let me know if you would like to come on live with me and we'll get you up. Okay? Cool, 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 cool. All right. So hopefully you all can read this. Okay, great. You all can. All right, let me blow it back up and then we'll get into this conversation. Okay. All right. Where you see anxiety isn't a standard psychological or academic term. It was, however, coined by Dr. Franz Fanon and Dr. William Cross. Now, I want to introduce this term to you all because it's important that we learn what certain terms mean so that we can get the knowledge out of it, right? Because information brings about what? Transformation. Okay, if you look at that word weusi is a Swahili word, actually Kiswahili word meaning black or blackness. That is black people and those of African descent. Okay. So this word specifically is speaking to black and brown and yellow people. Okay. And not our counterparts. So where you see anxiety, I want you to move down a little bit. Let me see if I can. There we go. Let me move myself out. Okay. Now, I want to, if you look down at the word anxiety, just look down a little bit at the word anxiety. Anxiety is a feeling of fear, worry, or unease about something that may happen. Anxiety is a feeling of fear, worry, or unease about something that may happen. Okay. Now let's go back up and look at Weusi. Weusi again is Swahili for black or blackness. So, in other words, you're having an anxiety attack about being black. Do you hear me? You're having an anxiety attack about being black. Octavia says, also consider that our history is often mistold, distorted, and deleted. I agree. All right. So, what we're dealing with is anxiety. And that anxiety is connected to us being black. And here's the thing about it is that we can't make ourselves not be black, right? So we're born this way. We're born black. Queen Octavia says, well, damn, it's a very fitting term. Yes. Okay. So let's get into this because it's going to be intriguing. I'm gonna put some information up, And I want you guys to respond to this. We normally keep the timeline flowing, right? And the crazy part about it is that, you know what, we are in a space, place, and time that we don't want to hear anything about blackness. I'm tired of that. I have black fatigue. I don't want to hear anything. But what has happened is that we haven't been properly educated. We have been misinformed and disinformed, and as a result of that, we have turned our switch off to hear. Right? We don't want to hear anything that has to deal with that. But I will assure you that the information that you're going to get tonight is going to be totally different. You haven't heard this. You may have heard some semblance of this, but we're going to talk about where you see anxiety, and it's important. Again, when we talk about Weusi is the Kiswahili for what? Black and blackness, and anxiety is a feeling of fear, worry, or unease about something that may happen. So if you look at our current situation today, we are looking for something to happen because of who we are. Racism is at a what? An all-time high, right? So now let's look at Weusi anxiety. Weusi anxiety could describe the stress or tension. Listen to this. The stress or tension related to the Black experience. And that's interesting. If you take a minute and think about it, that is really true because we are stressed out about being Black, right? We are stressed to the point that our queens, our Black goddesses, right, are willing to put on wigs to try to fit in. They're willing to put fake hair in their heads to try to fit in, right? Now, I know I'm gonna get somebody to go tonight. I know queens don't get angry with me. Just listen to me. So when you take a minute and think about what is really happening to us, stress and tension that is related to our experiences and what we are experiencing, right? And then not only that, but then if you take a minute and think about what the brothers are doing. The brothers are what? Swirling. Sisters are swirling. Why is this happening? Because there is so much stress and tension on us. Look at this. For example, the anxiety that comes from dealing with racism, to Queen's Octavia point, she was mentioning something along these lines. Cultural pressure, identity struggles, or generational trauma within Black communities. Look at this. So we're suffering from a level of anxiety, Black anxiety. So, but when Dr. Frantz Fanon and Dr. William Cross really talked about this, Weusi anxiety, what they were actually trying to convey to us was that it's not so much that we hate white people as much as we hate being Black. Why do we hate being Black? Because of what? Our experience. What are we experiencing? Stress, right? What are we're having? Tension. Every time you look around, there's tension between us and our European counterparts for educational purposes only, right? Yes, yes. The master teacher said, we had a toast to that. Can a leopard change his spots? A salute, family. Yes, indeed. Tonight's the night. We're gonna get into this. We're gonna bite this off. And I think it's really gonna give us some good information. Okay. Prince of Peace says, right, we spend all our time trying to blend into a white society. It dims our light, zaps our energy, stifles our creativity. I agree. And tonight's podcast is for educational purposes only, so that we can have grown folk conversation. And as I always say, if you ain't grown, get your ass out the room. Right? Yes, we anticipate negative experiences just for being black. This topic is so hot. Yes. But just take a minute and think about it, family. What we are under so much pressure and stress and tension. Our experiences are not everyone else's experience. And I need you all to understand this, understand this. Okay. Now I'm gonna remove that and I'm gonna put something else up there because I want us to move through this, right? Now listen to what Dr. Chancellor Williams said. If you all can see that and we're on the same page, put a two on the timeline. You don't have to participate if you don't want to, and that's okay. But I want you all to look at that. Isn't that something? Destruction of Black Civilization by Dr. Chancellor Williams. Listen to what he said. Okay. Listen to what he said. The main work of reconstructing African history in the 20th century is still in the hands of those who degraded it. White hands who still have the power to shape as they will. What do y'all think about that? That's amazing. That's interesting. I read the book. I have his book, and it's off the chain. And if you haven't had an opportunity to get it yet, you may want to get it. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So what do you all think about that? This is on you all tonight. The main work of reconstructing African history. Now, to Octavia's point, because she made a point, um, Octavia said, always keep your head on the swivel. Let me put that. But here it is. Here's what Queen Octavia stated. Let's look at this. Now she all up in the she got all up in the wind down Wednesday. Therapy with a sip grown folk conversation, baby, the people's podcast. Look at that. Also consider that our history is often mistold, distorted, and deleted. Now, let's look at that, right? The main work of what? Reconstructing African history in the 20th century is still in the hands of those who what? Degraded it, white hands who still have the power to shape as they will. Now, this is why we have so much tension. Let me go back to this. This is why we have so much what? So much stress or tension related to the black experience. Why are we having that? We're having it according to Dr. Williams, the main work of reconstructing African history in the 20th century is still in the hands of those who degraded it. They're still pressuring us. They got they have tension upon us. White hands who still have the power to shape as they will. They can do what they want to when they want to do it. And if a prime example is what? President Donald Trump. Whatever jumps in his mind, pretty much, is what he is doing, right? Is what he's doing. So now one of the ways that we combat this is what we're doing now, like having these grown folk conversations where we're talking back to each other, where we're communicating with each other, where we're sharing truths with each other, where we're sharing information that's fact based, that we know that it works if we work it. We know that it'll work if we do what? If we work it. Again, again. So who is in control? Now, here, listen. Who is in control of our history? It is obvious that we're not. And I don't know if you all know about this, but what Donald Trump is doing or trying to do is counsel, listen to this, counsel Black History Month. How many of you all knew that? If you knew that, put a 3 on the timeline. So we'd be on the same page. If you knew that, put a 3 on the timeline. Okay. Okay. So then we have to think about who is in control of our history. Who is in control of our history? Here's what Queen Octavia says. Queen Octavia says, just search something like fashion in the 70s, 80s, 90s. You don't see us. They sure are copycats who did do it all wrong. Who did do it all wrong. Okay. I agree. I agree. And if you think about our music, you think about Lil Richie and all of them, Chuck Berry, all of them, all of their music were copied by our counterparts. And as if it was theirs, okay, for educational purposes only. This is factual. This is fact based. You can research it. If Facebook want to fact check us, you can fact check us that the history of Lil Richie, Chuck Berry, and the likes was stolen by their European counterparts, right? Such people as Elvis Presley was one of the main number one thieves that was stealing music. So if you take a minute and think about it now, okay. So let's get that down. Let's put this up because I'm interested in what you guys are saying. Okay. Only Way says, I think the black hands messed up and taught the wrong ones too much, and now look at the results. I agree. That's a good point. That's a good point as well. That's right. Let's talk it up. Greetings. She's in the house, the Empress. Hey, Empress. Um, so let's go back to this. Okay. Let's go back to this. Let's go back to this. Let's look at this thing. So then, Wayusa anxiety could describe the stress or tension related to the black experience. For example, the anxiety that comes from dealing with the what, the racism, the cultural pressure, the identity struggles, or the generational trauma within the black community. We know that they've destroyed our communities, our wealth communities. For example, we always mention this one, Black Wall Street. They did the same thing in North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Illinois, Ohio, you name it, they did it, right? Okay, so then let's go back to this. Let's hold on 1 second, family. Let's go back to the fact of what Dr. Chancellor was talking about. Let's look at this. And I'm being repetitive. It's Wind Down Wednesday. Let's take a toast. Salute, salute, salute. All right. How many of you all agree with that? How many of you all agree with what Dr. Chancellor Williams said? If you agree with that, put a number 4 out there on the timeline. If you agree with that, just so we're all on the same page. Okay. Just so we're all on the same page. Put a 4 out there. Okay. So again, let me read this again, and I'm being redundant and repetitive because even as Dr. Chancellor Williams also stated that because we have been lied to for so long, that we've been given untruths for so long, that they've been repeated for so long, that we now have to repeat the truth repetitively to remove the lies that have been given unto us. Okay? To remove the lies that have been given unto us. Okay. All right. So the main work of reconstructing African history in the 20th century is still in the hands of those who degraded it, white hands who still have the power to shape as they will. Now, I want to show you all something interesting. We're still dealing with a situation, and you all know that we're dealing with the fact that our European counterparts say, well, we can't relinquish total freedom to them because they may do to us what we have done to them for educational purposes only. They may do to us what we have done to them, right? So listen to what Dr. Bobby Wright said, because he knew it was in their minds. Listen to what he said. He says, oh, oppressed blacks. He says, we should not be racist and treat them as they have treated us. In fact, whites are not going to allow blacks to treat them as they have treated blacks. So that requires no discussion. listen, listen to what Dr. Bobby Wright says. Listen now. He says, so he says, again, we should not be racist and treat them as they have treated us. In fact, whites are not going to allow blacks to treat them as they have treated blacks. So that requires no what? Discussion. What is he really saying to us? That even if we wanted to, we won't be able to because we don't have the upper hand. We're in a position of what? Inferiority. I'm going to get to something. Hold that thought. Inferiority. Hold that thought. So we're in a position of inferiority. Now, why does white supremacy work when we're talking about white supremacy? We're talking about white supremacy because it means that they're in the position of power, which means that they're what? Supreme. So they have supreme authority to rule as they choose, right? So therefore, which is why Trump and that governor down there in Florida and in other places are trying to what? Erase our history. Well, how can they do that? Because they are in the position of power, right? When you're in the position of power, you have the ability to write history whatever way you want to, whether it be fictitious, whether it be misinformation, whatever it may be. You have the ability to do that, right? Come on, talk to me. Y'all in the house tonight? Y'all in the house tonight, fam? Come on, talk to me. So when you're in a place of superiority, then you can write whatever you want to write and pretty much insert whatever you want to insert and make it be whatever you want it to be, right? So then again, this is what Dr. Bobby Wright is conveying to us, that we should not be racist and treat them as they have treated us, right? He's being facetious. And in fact, whites are not going to allow blacks to treat them as they have treated blacks. So that requires no discussion. So why would we be even discussing something like that? Because we already know y'all not going to allow us to get that off, right? Isn't that something? Isn't that something, fam? Okay, okay. Hold on. So what y'all think about that? Hmm. What y'all think? Before we move on, I just want y'all to take a look at that. And let me go back and let me put Wayusi up here again, so that you all can take a look at that before we move on, okay, fam? Because I want you, I'm gonna build on this in just a minute. Okay. All right. What does Dr. Bobby Wright suggest? He suggests separation, that we separate ourselves from our European counterparts. That was Dr. Bobby Wright's position. If you don't know who he is, just look him up. And he was a very powerful teacher, and I think he transitioned at the age of 30 something as well as Dr. Amos Wilson. And those pioneers, those thumpers, boy, they kind of disappeared off the scene early, right? So yeah, Dr. Bobby Wright. Yeah, he was saying the only way really to combat this is that, or through separation. So, and you know that when we start talking about separation, then you already know what's going to happen. Wayusi, anxiety is going to set in, because there are a group of blacks that really believe that we need to integrate. And as a result of integrating, we're going to receive a greater education, a better financial position, and all of that. When that isn't true, when we were thriving, when we were separate but equal, that was Plessy versus Ferguson. I don't know how many people are familiar with that ruling, but Plessy versus Ferguson had some good things in it. And one of the things I thought that was good about it, because I read it, the separate but equal, meaning that the government was responsible for making sure that whatever type of school you had, we in the black community would have the same access to that. Not their schools, but our own schools, having the access to the finances and whatever else we needed to make it to be successful. But however, without that, we were outpacing our European counterparts, right? But then what happened? We did what? We integrated. And in my opinion, I think it was the wrong decision in the choice and decision of those that were in the governing position to be able to make those choices for the black community, right? Yeah. Let me see what you guys are saying. Correct. When you're in a superior position, what are we able to do to you? Nothing. Because you're going to be writing bills and making laws, right? That's exactly what you're going to be doing. And that's what's happening. And yeah, oh, she's in the house, you all. Queen Tracy. Yep, can't do either, Queen. We can't do either. We can't do either. Okay, so let me get that down. Now, again, this is what Dr. Chancellor Williams said, right? We talked about this, right? The main work of reconstructing African history in the 20th century is still in the hands of who? Those who degraded it. White hands who still have the power to do what? Shape as they will. So we still have that problem to contend with. Okay. So, but Dr. Bobby Wright was saying that it's a farce for them to even suggest that we're going to do to them what they have already done to us. And in fact, we're not even in a position to be able to do that. So there's no need to even think about doing anything like that. But we're oppressed in our history. It's being tampered with. So, but let me show you all something else. Now watch this. Listen to this. Listen to this. Listen to what Malcolm said. Listen to what Malcolm said. Go ahead and read it. And if you can see that and you can read it, go ahead and put a 5 on the timeline. If you choose to share this, that's okay. If not, that's cool too. It's all good. If you would like to donate, please. The information is on the banner across the bottom, right? So, would someone give us a toast? We're going to pause for the calls. And I'll let someone give the toast. I've been toasting all night. I'm going to let somebody else. Somebody else want to give the toast? Toast to the host with the most. What? Yes. Yes, indeed. I see you, the master teacher. Okay. Yes, indeed. Master teacher says Dr. Bobby Wright is absolutely correct. It is not going to happen because the system is not constructed for the switch to even transpire. Absolutely not, master teacher. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Okay. Queen Tracy says she's working, but she's listening. Gratitude, gratitude, Queen. Okay. Queen Octavia giving a toast? Okay, cool. Toast to combating the fear of being you. Did y'all hear that? Toast to combating the fear of being you. Salute, salute, salute. Mm. Gratitude for the toast, Queen. All right. So this is what Malcolm said. Malik El Haj Malik El Shabazz. This is what he said. He said, our people have made the mistake of confusing the methods. Listen to what he said. What? Let me pull the echo on that. Let me pull the echo on that for Malcolm, for Malik. Our people have made the mistake of confusing the methods with the objectives. Did y'all hear that? Our people have made the mistake of confusing the methods with the objectives. We should not fall out with each other because we believe in different methods or strategy. We have to keep in mind at all times that we are not fighting for integration or for separation, but for recognition as free humans in this society. Look at how far this fight goes back. family? Are you listening? Malcolm is saying that, listen, we're fighting each other. We're in argument with each other when everything we should be doing should be pointed at our counterparts. Because the thing that we're fighting for is freedom. He notice he didn't say liberation. He wasn't talking about being liberated. Malcolm was talking about being free. Freedom. Freedom to be human. Freedom to be able to live free from what? Tension and stress from our counterparts. Trauma from our counterparts, sicking dogs on us, turning fire hoses on us, the tension, the stress of being black, right? Where you see anxiety, right? So it was to the point that it started us looking at us and started making us believe that we are the problem. And so therefore we need to fix ourselves, change ourselves, become more Eurocentric, start putting contacts, colored contacts, wigs, perming our hair. The men, what did we do? We permed our hair, put jerry curls. We did all kinds of things. What? Why did we do that? Because of the stress, the tension, the pressure to become other than who you are, and then to have your history hijacked and stolen. Dr. Bobby Wright talked about this as well, family. He talked about how this world has been hijacked, stolen, and remade to fit the behavior of our counterparts. You have to understand what has happened. What has happened is that the behavior of our counterparts has been normalized. We normalize it. We help normalize it. The sociopath and the psychopath element of it has been normalized even by us into uh, the only way was talking about how that what we've done is given up information to be able to help our counterparts be able to do what it is that they're doing to us. We've given them the ability to be able to now change our history, rewrite our history, right? And you know what that falls under. And I'm pretty sure if master teacher's still in the room, he'll put it out there. That falls under meritorious manumission. Meritorious mission. So what did Malcolm say? We have to keep in mind that at all times we are not fighting integration or for separation, but for recognition as free humans in this society. What is he saying? Man, don't get caught up on integration. Don't get caught up on separation. What we all need to be caught up on and caught away with is what? Freedom. Isn't this thing all about freedom, to be free from the control and tyranny of colonialism, white supremacy, and for educational purposes only? Yeah, yeah, yes, indeed, freedom. Come on, fam, y'all in the house tonight. All right. I was just making sure y'all kind of quiet tonight. Y'all normally be tearing this timeline up, right? Yes, no, maybe indifferent. But that's what Malcolm said. Let me hit you all with one more, and we almost about to get up out of here, y'all. It's Wind Down Wednesday, baby. Therapy with a sip, grown folk conversation. This is a people's podcast. It's for you, for me, and for us, because why? We're FUBU. Tonight's podcast is being brought to you by none other than the Prince of Peace, Queen Octavia, the master teacher, the quantum shifter, the shapeshifter, the code breaker, baby. Dorothy Wilson, T. Swin, Man Can't Always Be Wrong podcast. And we're going to put a plug in for him a little bit later on. Um, Also, Tracy and Anthony Love, and also Queen Kizzy, the Love Queen. Yes, indeed. Isn't that something? So if you hadn't had an opportunity to give your donation yet, please donate. Your donates are necessary for us to do what we need to do because I am a content creator. And if you donate, please put it on the timeline so we can shout you out and give recognition. Okay? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Queen Octavia, for your donation. Thank you, Prince of Peace, for your donation. Yes, indeed. Yes, we must continue to be caught up in freedom. I'm leaving that up there so you all can see it because it's very important to get these things in our eye gates, in our ear gates, so that it imprint and impress upon us. Right? That's what's up. Okay. Yes, indeed. Okay, I got one more I'm gonna pull up for you guys. We're gonna talk about it and we're gonna get up out of here. We gonna get up out of here. Wind down Wednesday, baby. Therapy with a sip, grown folk conversation. The People's Podcast. I am your host with the most, the one, the apostle, the prophet, the cosmic commander. All right, let me pour up another bale, which I know I'm not going to get through with you guys on air, but I'm going to pour it up and we're going to give a toast. And I'm going to put this last one up for you guys and we'll talk about it and we'll raise up out of here. All right. All right. Okay. Toast to freedom. As the priestess said, out of the ATL, we must continue to be caught up in freedom. Toast. Salute. 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 All right. Okay, fam. Now, let's deal with the fact that we have to deal with what? Social conditioning, where there's things that have been instituted into the systemic system, the systemic element of racist bigotry, established businesses, practices, and all kinds of things, right? Let me show y'all something. This has been years of conditioning. Not only has it been years of conditioning, but this has been mentally driven into us. Trauma, trauma. Physically beat into us. Trauma, trauma. We've talked about all of these. You can go back. I left it up for you. You guys, you can go back and of course, you can snapshot it or what we call it on Facebook um, when you take the picture. So, but screenshot it. That's right there. That part. Okay, so I want you all to look at this and see how why we have so much stress and tension dealing with our culture, right? Not only dealing with our culture, but dealing with our community. and what has been done to us. Are you listening? Okay. Watch this. Y'all look at this. If you can see that, I want you to put a six out there on the timeline just so we're all on the same. It's all good. It's all good. Everybody good? Y'all good out there? Okay, so have y'all read it? What y'all think about that? Okay. Let me see what y'all think about that. Okay. Y'all see that? And I quote, the third president, 1801 to 1809. Words hidden in plain sight. Yes. Look at what they said. Now you have to take a minute and think about the psychological warfare that has been carried out on us that has traumatized us. That, oh, the love gangsters in the house. There she is. Greetings, Queen. Think about this. I want you all just take a minute and think about this, right? The psychological warfare that has been carried out on us, that it has what stressed us, created tension, that we've turned on each other, which is what Malcolm was talking about. What was he talking about? He said, listen, it ain't about what? Integration nor what? Separation. What was it about? Being free to be a human what? Being. To be what? Black. To be a human and woman. He said, this is what we fight. It's for freedom to be ourselves. We can't be ourselves, can we? Because the moment you become yourself, you are considered to be too ethnistic or too culturally bonded. You need to loosen up a little bit and add a little Eurocentricism to you so that you can fit in. We're never going to fit in. This is how we get to self-hatred, by trying to fit in. See, and then guess what we do? We make excuses. We make excuses and we fix up all of these scenarios that that makes us feel like, okay, I'm doing this for a particular purpose that's going to advance me, right? For example, when we look more Eurocentric, our queens, our goddesses look more Eurocentric. They're able to go into certain places they're not able to go in and thrive. That's not true. You were either going to get in there or you weren't anyway, right? But what happens is our European counterparts want us to deny ourselves, to deny our own humanity. And what they want us to do is project their humanity as if they are superior. Look at this. Look at what Thomas Jefferson said. I advanced it that the blacks are inferior to the whites in the endowment of what? Body, both body and what? Mind. Now we know for educational purposes only, that can be debunked. We know that that is misinformation and disinformation. Are you listening to me? That's misinformation and disinformation because factually, we can prove that the most superior individuals that are on this earth are those that have dominant genes, right? This is factual. You can fact check that. Go ahead and fact check it if you want to. But listen to what Thomas Jefferson said. Again, I advanced it that the blacks are inferior to the whites in the endowment of both body and mind. You can advance that all you want to, but it's not a fact. Oh, you hear me, you hear me well. Now let's look at what Lincoln said. Look at what Lincoln said. Lincoln said what? There is a physical difference between the white and the black race. I'm quoting. There must be the position of superior and inferior. And I, as much as any man, am in favor of having the superior position assigned to who? The white race. No wonder we're in a conundrum. No wonder that we're hating being black because we feel that our skin is a disability to us. The moment we walk through the door, it gives us away. Oh, that's a black person. So therefore, they are inferior to us. Why? Because our forefathers taught us that they are inferior. So what is Malcolm saying to us then? That's why Malcolm said, hold on, man, we're not going to get into this conundrum. We're not going to get into this kerfuffle about integration and separation. But what we are going to do is join together and fight for our freedom to be that human and woman and to be free to live from the tyranny of the colonialism. Oh, it's Wind Down Wednesday, baby. Therapy with a sip, grown folk conversation. This is the People's Podcast, brought to you by none other than the Prince of Peace, Queen Octavia, the Master Teacher. Also, Tracy and Anthony Love, and Queen Kizzy and T. Swin. Man, can't always be wrong. Podcast. I want to leave that up in your eye gates. Take a look at it. And as you all are taking a look at that, I want to shout out to none other than T. Swin, who has an amazing book out called Love is for Suckers. And also, Love Gangster, if you're still in the room, please put the information out about Crystal so that I can post it up and the family can see it. If you're still in the room, please. Yes, yes, T. Swin, man can't always be wrong. Podcast has an amazing book out. So you guys, y'all see that? Yep. Look at what they said. Thomas Jefferson and Abraham Lincoln. I read it again. Jefferson says, I advanced it that the blacks are inferior to the whites in the endowment of both body and mind. Abraham Lincoln says there is a physical difference between the white and the black race. There must be the position of superior and inferior. And as I must, as any man am in favor, as much as any man am in favor of having a superior position assigned to the white race. Isn't that something? Hey y'all, let me put this up here for you all so you all can see this right here. Listen, T Swin, y'all get if you get an opportunity, please pick it up. Love is for suckers. Okay. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Shout out also to Dr. Clear in the ATL, Creating the Amazing You. Her book is out. Yes. And also Rosalind McLean. Her book is out. Ocean of Thoughts. She has this is a 3-part series. Also, she has a children's book out. So we shout them out. If you get an opportunity, please pick their books up. All right? Please pick their books up. They're out there so that you can find them. Okay, fam? Whee! There we go. Yes, indeed. Okay. Now, turning the moment into a movement podcast. It's with the Love Gangster, J Love, and her cohorts over there, Reverend Tia, um, and the other family over there. I can't call it a name right now. I'm just drawing a blank. Please owe it to my head and not my heart. But listen, I want you all to take a minute and look at this information from the Love Gangster, J Love, turning a moment into a movement. This is about a young lady that's in Michigan, Crystal Clark, that's having a problem with mold in the Department of Corrections. And she needs us to pray for her. Call in to, there are some call-in numbers. There's some contact um, that J Love is going to, that when you hit that link, you'll be able to do it. You'll be able to see it, right? This is what we do, right? I know, right? Turning a moment into a movement podcast, baby. uh, uh, Tracy put a request out there for you all. All right, here we go. Kizzy says that's why they made Jesus white to take away the ability for us to see that the divine is within us and that we see them as the resemblance that God is white like them. Yes, indeed, that's what they did. They whitewashed. They whitewashed. But interesting thing that's going on and that's really happening. Um, yes, there we go. Interesting thing that's happened is Russia let the cat out the bag and reveal that the one that they're calling Jesus Christos or Jesus Christ is black, right? We all know that he was Yahushua, uh, Hamashiach. So we know that, and there's variations of the name, right? I stay in the center and use Yahushua or Yeshua, not Yeshua, but Yahshua, because Yeshua is a name that is used by the Ashkenaz and the Spaniards. It's more of comes out of Babylon. But anyway, that's a whole nother. I'm getting in a whole nother vein. But anyway, yeah. Shout out to Tia Trouche and Leslie and Marcus over on. Listen, turning a moment into a movement, baby. They own it over there. The Love Gangster, baby. All right, nice book. I have to look into them, Father, and send you mine as well. Yes, please send us a book so we can hit you up. It's free advertisement up in this demonstration. Hey, it's free advertisement up in this demonstration. Okay, that's the book I really want from the Russos. It's 1500. Okay, okay, all right. It's going down up in here, baby, and wind down Wednesday, baby. Therapy with the step grown folk conversation. It's for real, the People's Podcast, right? Yeah, they exposed that last year, and Putin said that this is the truth and was changing all the white depicted Jesus band that his people will accept the truth that Jesus was black. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Isn't that something? Yes, indeed, fam. Listen, let me check this timeline. If you have donated, please put it on the timeline so I can shout you out. Gratitude, Tracy Love, for your donation. Gratitude, Prince of Peace, for your donation. Yeah, go ahead and throw them donations out there so we can shout you out. We shouted out Queen Octavia. Thank you for your donation. Um, yeah. So I'm gonna just briefly put these up here. So if you guys want to screenshot it or If you just want to read through it quickly again, just kind of keep it fresh in your cognition. Uh, I'm gonna put them up there for you guys in order, and you can just look at it quickly, okay? And we'll get you guys out of here. I love you all. Thank you all so much for the support. We're having an amazing time. Remember, we talked about the way you seeing anxiety. Dr. William Cross, Dr. Franz Fanon. And we talked about that's a key Swahili word meaning black or blackness. We talked about how it is linked to the black identity, the experience of being black, et cetera, et cetera. Um, we use, for examples, dealing with racism, cultural pressure, identity struggles, or generational trauma within the black community. And we talked about what anxiety consists of. It makes you feel some kind of way. It makes you feel what? Fear, worry, or uneased about something that may happen. So let us be cognizant of that. Dealing with this, when you're dealing with anxiety, you have to take a moment, step back, breathe, and assess what's going on, right? And then dispel those untruths. That's misinformation and disinformation. That you are God in this earth realm. All right. Okay. So the destruction of the civilization, the black civilization, Dr. Chancellor Williams. You can see it there, right? Then we'll move on. Hopefully, you guys can get that. Thank you for your donation, the master teacher, the quantum shifter, the shapeshifter, the code breaker, baby. Yes, indeed. We're in the house tonight, baby. It's Wind Down Wednesday. Therapy with a sip. Grown folk conversation. It's the People's Podcast. Shout out to DJ Boogie. Uh, shout out um, to the Black Moses Freedom Festival, the founder and CEO, Queen Basu. Shout out to Dr. Stephanie. Shout out to Dr. Clea. Shout out. Shout out. Let me put these shout outs up here while I'm going down. I think the Prince of Peace put them out here somewhere. Let me go pull them up. There we go. Shout out. All right, let me move on to the next one. Hopefully you guys got that one. We shouting out everybody. You can see it. The shout outs up there under JP Hall. All right. Okay. We all see that, right? Our people have made the mistake of confusing the method. This Malcolm. All right. Here's the last one. There we go. Everybody see that? Now, so what are the solutions to this? The solution is what we're doing now. Comes together, sharing information to clear up misinformation and disinformation, right? Once you clear that up, then you can see what the truth really is and then see what's important. What's important is freedom and to be able to come together and cut off the ability for those that are in a superior position to not be able to exact their will upon us. We're going to have to go back to old school. We're going to have to come back and have those old prayer meetings. And I ain't talking about Jesus Christ prayer meetings either. We go have to use the Spirit of God. But at any rate, hopefully you guys got that. Let me look down. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So listen, as always, do what? Hold what you got. Because why? We've come to that space, place, and time where we must say, hold what you got. Muse over it, cogitate upon it, Ponder on it. But by all means, do what? Govern yourself accordingly. One love, eternal light, peace, power, prosperity, and in the words of the Prince of Peace, excellent health. Shalom Aleichem Mishpikar, meaning peace be unto you, family. Until next time.